So we are still working on this computer. I found out what was wrong with the other motherboard, and we won't be using that. I couldn't get it 100% stable, so we are going to go ahead and go with this other motherboard that I originally wanted to use. So that should work out pretty well. Let me see, I think I might be a little too hot with the microphone. Test, test, test. It's raining again, so hopefully everything's as it should be. So I'm trying out the XFX board now with the other things on it. I think I need to reset this from the last time I used it. I had to figure out what else going on with it. It's been a little while since I've had to mess with it and tinker with it. Got a capacitor that looks funny on it too. Give it a little bit of time and see if it boots. It may not. Damn rain's got me all upset. But like last night, I figured if I'm going to be out here working, I might as well just go live and see what happens. I got Angel out with me tonight.
Hello.
He said hello. He's like, hello, my daddy makes me come outside.
Is that the mic?
Yeah.
Oh. That's cool.
So anyway, right now I'm gonna see what's going on with this board and try to figure it all out. This was Angel's motherboard and his computer. Here, I think I need to do this. Let's see what's going on with this. I had to put that other graphics card in there. We'll see. This board doesn't have onboard graphics. It has to have a graphics card. So far I don't have any video on either one of the screens. So maybe we'll try out the 550 Ti on this board and see what happens. Not a huge fan of this little 8600 GT anyway. Now I do remember that I had the option for another computer from somebody that I might end up taking them up on. I need to see what the specs of it are. So I might end up grabbing that at some point in the near future if I can get in touch with said person. But that'll have to wait for now. But I'm only going to tinker with this computer for so long because I did get another computer at work today that I want to check out and see if it works. And if it does, it might be the replacement for the computer the kids fried in the living room.
Kids, man.
So, yo, yo, yo. Welcome back, as always. As always, just tinkering around again tonight with some computer parts, trying to see what works and don't work so I can put together a system for Henry. We've jumped to the other motherboard. I looked at the other one that I was having trouble with yesterday and I figured out what was wrong with it from it being stored so long. There was a little bit of that time that, like a dumbass, I didn't have a processor in it, and there was a broken pin in it. So that's why it kept wanting to shut off. So that was unfortunately terrible, but it happens. But right now, I'm just trying to see what I do have that works. See if I can get this thing up and running. I'm not positive yet with the functionality of it. A lot of this stuff I've had just sitting around for so long. Oh man.
Well, are you and Henry like friends or brothers or something?
Yes, he is my brother. He is my brother, and he's been helping with the videos and helping a lot more with the YouTube channel, so I'm trying to get him a computer put together so that he has something at his house. Let's see. I need to look something up. See, this motherboard has little post codes, so I can cross-reference that and see what the post code means.
But the rain sound isn't too bad.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's terrible. Let's see what this means. I found the post codes. Okay, so there are some ideas here. So we will work on seeing what we can do about that. There's a couple of folks that are saying it could be the CPU not sitting perfectly correct, or I could have over tightened which is possible, the cooler on it. So we are going to take a moment, because it's very possible that these issues are all valid, and see what happens. So we'll come back here like we usually do and come down. There you are. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? So again with the cooler, basically doing some of the same stuff that we did like yesterday. And it's raining a lot harder, so if you can't hear me, I apologize for that. Now, let's see what we can figure out, because it's more than likely got to do with the CPU being seated than it does anything else, I would assume. Word. Angel, how you liking your new computer?
It's amazing.
Big upgrade from this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Alright, I'm looking. I don't see anything out of the way.
I love actually being able to use my computer desk for a computer.
So let's
I haven't
try.
had any problems or anything with it either.
Let's try that. And I think instead of putting the whole cooler on, let's test it out a little bit with just it sitting on there, just to kind of get an idea
If it's the tightness problem.
what it could be. Alright.
I just heard a child run outside.
Huh?
Thought I just heard a child run outside.
How do you hear a child run through the rain?
Well, I heard somebody yell.
I don't see anything. Alright. So let's do that. And then let's get the graphics card back in place. Again, these are all just troubleshooting steps. Testing everything out, looking up what things could be, making sure things are like they should be. Let's see what this does. Still just says FF. So we have some kind of postcode. The thread says an immediate fully function could be an issue. So we're going to start off by taking one of the RAM slots out. Not the slot, but a RAM stick. And let's make sure it's nothing to do with our RAM.
Taking the entire slot off. This is useless. What are all these cases for?
Stuff I've taken apart.
There's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
What does this do?
What does what do? That's a back plate for a CPU cooler. Alright, I'm still getting that same code. Let's see here, what can we try? Let's check this out. So far, no change, even changing the RAM out. Now, there could be, oh man, all this hardware is just so old at this point. Alright, so I mean, I don't think this is what wasn't working. So we're gonna go ahead, take this out, and use this just to check now. Let's try a different PCI slot. How about that? I doubt that's got anything to do with anything. Well, we can try it. We can try it just to see. No, but why does it keep coming unplugged? That's some aggravating crap. That is. FF, fully functional, but it's not fully functional. Alright, so. It's possible it could just be shot. Like I said before, I might end up having to just use an alternative method. Or an alternative means to a method. Alright, so this board is no longer valid. Let's try to switch up the CPU and see what happens. Now, I don't have much hope in this doing anything, but I'd rather know than not know. No, we just getting that straight FF code again. Alright, but that could also be a number of different things, so let's try something else out. See, it's not going through the postcode process that it's supposed to. And that's really weird. There should be a whole process where it goes through and does a few things. Let me try some more RAM. Working with some old school DDR2 here. And it still just triggers the FF. Now, I guess I should check a different power supply as well. Make sure it's not the power supply. Because my luck, it definitely could be. So let's do that real quick. Just to be sure. just to make sure. I'm not above saying that I could have a faulty power supply. It's always very possible in these circumstances and situations and blasey blasey blahs. This board does take a 8-pin, so I can actually utilize the fact that some of these power supplies come with an 8-pin. Alright, so no, it's not the power supply. It's not the power supply. Alright, so before we get too much farther, I'll say I'll go ahead and put the processor that I want to have in here back in here. I know this processor does work in here because I've had this in here before for Angel. Yeah, it's still going straight to FF. Alright, so I'm going to continue to figure this one out another day because, quite frankly, it's just not working out right now, and I got something else I would rather be looking at. In all honesty, so we're gonna...
How does the paste even really help that?
Transfers heat.
Like, is it made out of like little metal fillings or something?
Sure. I'm not sure. Different pastes are made with different things. Alright, so we need to figure this out, but we'll figure it out later. It's fine. It's fine. This is DDR3. These are all DDR2. Which I'll keep in mind for later. So, alright. This computer here is about to be one I got from work today. It's an HP workstation, a Z200. Boom.
It's a big computer.
And we're gonna see if we can get it to work. So this could end up being pretty neat, possibly.
It looks old.
Possibly. It's not that old. What makes it look old?
The cages on the fan and the fact that the graphics card doesn't have like a case or anything around it.
That's a Quadro FX 380. That's a different. That's not a gaming graphics card.
Oh, okay. And a hard drive?
No.
Are there two graphics cards in it?
This card, it looks like some kind of serial port. HP. Press any key. What?
Oops up.
Initializing and establishing link. Can y'all see that up there?
I can see.
That's cool. That's real cool. Alright, so
What did they give it to you? They didn't think it worked?
no. Please don't ask questions right now. Non-system disk or disk error. Alright. We can deal with that. Let's see here. Let's put one of my disks to it. My SSD from my other system. And then we'll Control-Alt-Delete it. Ooh, that's right. I didn't have this plugged in before that, so I'm probably gonna have to turn it off and then turn it back on. Alright, there's nothing in the CD drive. HP, boot menu setup, and it's coming up with Windows. That's badass. It's booting like right up. And the rain's getting louder and louder and louder.
Just one.
So this is kind of cool. I need to see what we have in it. i3 540, 4 gigs of RAM. i3 540. So, out of my next curiosity, I say we turn it off, add some RAM, and see what it does. Why not? I'm game. I'm curious. I want to know what might happen if I do that. See if it posts.
What does the RAM do?
Stores stuff. Memory. Whoa. Looks like we've got a boot so far. It stores stuff temporarily, stuff that you're using. That way you can access it more quickly.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Random access memory is what RAM stands for. I know y'all can't see as much. Let me see if I can change that where y'all can see a little bit more of what's going on. Now y'all can see the screen I'm working on a little bit better. This PC properties. Alright, so it's showing 8 gigs now of RAM. Let's see what happens if I put this other DIMM slot in. or dim in this one of the slots.
I thought those red sticks didn't work the last time we tried them on my computer.
Sometimes some RAM works on some computers, and sometimes it don't work on other computers. That's why I save them.
Okay. I thought a stick of RAM should stick
Not always. It's always worth trying out. Now, I'd be really surprised if this boots with that one stick in. Wow. Okay. That's possibly gonna be cool as hell if it actually like comes up with it. So we're posted. It's going into Windows. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'll kind of try to give everybody a better view of the computer we're working on. It does read it. 12 gigs. That's crazy. I thought that RAM was dead for sure.
That's nice.
Alright, so let's connect this baby to the internet and see what happens there. See if it actually... Again, this is a workstation. It's got a Quadro 380, NVIDIA Quadro 380 in it. What is this other little card? I'm not even sure what that card's for. But it's cool that it's there. Alright, so it looks like it has the intronets. That's where the kids have been watching Minnie Mouse and shit when this was in the living room.
One of the tags when you open up Google was Pokemon.com. Is there a second screen?
Alright, so I want to go to here. Updates. Check for updates. Let's see if I can get an update for that Quadro card. See what happens. Because this could potentially be kind of cool. It's funny when I went to oh, let's get an onboard speaker. I looked a lot smaller before. Oh, it takes the little sliders. I didn't receive the little sliders. Alright. Well then, I can make do though. Yeah, I see the GeForce stuff popping up, so we should be alright on that.
A lot of updates.
Yeah.
Everyone uses that for the anything warm inside.
No, I'm good, buddy. Thank you.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, this is one of those. Wow, how did that happen? Since when do I have low output? Why am I getting drop frames?